Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to WatchBox, and thanks for logging on. If you're not watching this on the new WatchBox app, you're doing it all wrong. New features available on the Apple App Store or Google Play. You'll see WatchBox Studios content 1 week early, exclusive on the app. Plus, you can read editorial content from our own Jack Foster and your favorite third-party watch journals, magazines, and blogs. Also, shop our inventory, browse 3,000 pre-owned and vintage luxury watches while also storing your collection, including details of condition, box, and papers. Finally, stay in touch with me, my team, and our entire family of WatchBox client advisors around the world. I'm Tim, and I'll see you on the app.
Welcome back to another Collector's Conversation. I'm here with a dear friend and collector, Jabs Totonji. Welcome, Jabs.
Thank you for having me.
How are you doing today?
Great. It's an honor to be here.
Thank you for coming. And we are here in the New York lounge for WatchBox. It's a sunny, beautiful day in May. I was gonna say summer, we're still in spring, even though it's a little warm, but it's beautiful.
Feels like summer.
Yeah, it does feel like summer. I know your train ride in today, you were like, the hoodie was like, question mark, right? It's a little breezy, but it was good.
It was great.
Yeah, but thanks for coming today, Jabs. I'm so happy that you could be with us today. I want you to tell the people a little bit about you. The reason I wanted you to be here: 1, you're a great guy. 2, you're a great collector. 3, I think you're what I like to call a community anchor when it comes to watch collecting. I find that you need people within the watch collecting community in different areas who the newbies can go to and say, hey, can you just, I like this watch, tell me about it. Or, you kind of host events on the weekends and things like that. And just a good watch friend that anybody can go to. And I think you're one of those guys. So maybe tell the people a little bit about what got you started in watches.
I appreciate that. It means a lot coming from you. So I've been collecting watches for about 7-8 years now. First watch I got was a GMT Master 2. It was a gift from my wife. And she was like, you need to have one nice watch. And I was like, man, this is stupid. I'm not gonna spend this much money on a watch. And she's like, just get one nice watch. And it kind of went down the rabbit hole from there. Did a lot of research, fell in love with the GMT, wanted a Speedmaster, and the doors opened up and went down the black hole.
Yeah, I love that.
All thanks to her.
Let's just clip that. We're gonna send that to all the wives and all, A GMT never hurt anybody, right?
It was an amazing gift, and there's a few other ones that are gifts from her as well. So she's an awesome wife, and you get to see some of the pieces she's gotten.
Oh, I love that. So she was the one who really gave you the watch bug. She sparked it all.
All started from her.
Well, you brought some really cool pieces here, and we got to start with the Seiko, because I know I might stir up some things in the comments, but this is one of the coolest Seikos I've ever seen. So tell us a little bit about this one.
I agree with that. So this is a Seiko Discus burger. It took me about 9 months to find this. They've built around 99 of them for Japan market back in 2004, 2005, I believe it was. And really rare, really hard to come by, but it's really cool because it's basically a little disc that there's seconds, minutes, and hours. And these discs rotate, and it's just one of the cool Seikos that I've ever seen. So got this really cool Aaron bespoke strap on it, which you did for me, and
yeah, the strap really makes it pop. But so you have the three timing discs that you can see in a little aperture. So you have hours, minutes, and then seconds. But then surrounding that, you have this dark sapphire disc that's semi-transparent. So it's like a shadowy sapphire disc there, so you can see a little bit of the dial movements going on. But the case is just something very unique, something very unlike Seiko. Yeah. And Seiko gives us so many cool watches, but when I saw it, when you brought it over, I was like, this is probably one of the coolest Seikos I've ever seen. I know there's so many great references out there, but yeah, this is definitely jumped to the top of my list of cooler ones that I've had hands on. What made you look for this? I know you had an interesting story about it took you a while to hunt for it.
So I saw a picture, I can't remember where, maybe Instagram or YouTube or something, right? And I was like, what is this crazy Seiko? Right? What is this crazy watch? I couldn't tell it was Seiko because, like you said,
you
the
really
little
don't know.
dial kind of also hides the Seiko logo.
Yes,
in
it has
certain
like
lights.
a mirror. The text is in this kind of mirror finish. So even around the text of Seiko and around the aperture as well, we show you in the camera. In certain lights, it just goes to straight black.
Yeah.
So you can't see what's going on at all, which is really, really cool. So from one angle, it just looks like a mirrored out black watch. It's really cool.
Yeah, and so looked all over, searched the hashtags on Instagram, found a guy who owned one, and I didn't want to be one of those guys like, I want to buy your watch,
Yeah,
right? So I messaged him and I was like, look, I hope you wear the watch in good health. If you ever part with it, hit me up and I'd be interested. 3 months later, he just messaged me and he was like, hey, you know what? I'm not wearing the watch. If you want, I'll sell it to you, and I scooped it up that way. So it was
I love that. And that's a great thing a lot of people don't think about. Is like sometimes there are rare watches like this where it's like, hey, you just tell somebody, hey, love your watch. If you're ever like not in love with it anymore, would love to give it a good home.
Yeah.
And sometimes, depending on the price point, of course, you might want to do it in person, but I don't think the price on this was too crazy, maybe a couple thousand, a few $1,000s. And hey, the guy, hey, you know what? I remember you wanted to, I'm not wearing it right now.
Yeah.
Let's see if we could make something happen.
Yeah, it was great. It was good for everyone.
Yeah, that's awesome. So let's see, show me this cool Worldtimer you got there.
So this is a Raketa, not a Worldtimer. It's got the world on it.
Oh, you're right.
But the reason for that is it tells time counterclockwise. And so Raketa is a Russian brand. They produced 150 of these, so it's a limited edition 150. But it tells time counterclockwise. So every time I ask someone, what's the time on this watch? It just messes with everyone's head. Right? So you're trying to tell the time, and you want to give it a go?
I know what time it is, 'cause I know what time we're shooting. And I like watches that make you stop to tell time because it takes time to tell time, if that makes sense.
And so it has a great lume, and it's just a fun watch. Just something that's different, something you don't see every day. I like that it's limited to 150 pieces, makes it even more rare than, you'll never see this on someone else.
Yeah, and Raketa is one of those brands where I don't know their annual production, but they don't make a crazy amount of watches, or all their watches are pretty unique, right? Whether it be a unique function or, they do a lot of crazy designs and dials and things like that, and it's one of those unique European brands where very low production, you don't see them anywhere, you kind of have to get them online, I think, right? So it's something where you can pick up something cool, nobody else in the room has it, right?
Yeah.
So that's a really great piece as well.
And one that any collector can get, right? So it's doesn't break the bank, and it's just that you can have fun with an entry watch like this as well.
Exactly.
Really cool.
Yeah, no, very, very accessible. So wait, before we go any further, we have to do a wrist check. We didn't do a wrist check.
Oh yeah.
Again, I don't want the comments to attack us, right? So I'll go first, and then you go because you have something really cool on. And today I have the beautiful. I love this watch a lot. It's a Moser Pioneer perpetual calendar. I'm a big fan of perpetual calendars, and Moser does it really nice because it gives you a Pioneer perpetual, but it's clean, it's simple. You can go up and down all the way around and won't break it, and I love it in this format. I love it in rose gold as well, but this in the titanium just it suits me really well today. So
one of the cleanest perpetual calendar.
Yeah, exactly.
You can get.
And that fume blue is just like, how do you not put it on, right? And what do you have on today?
So this was my third watch that I ever bought. It's,
No way.
Piece Unique, Konstantin Chaykin Joker. I reached out to them a little after I bought my GMT, and it took me 18 months to get the watch. They sent me a contract in Russian and not speak Russian. It took a leap of faith, and I was like, I'll sign this, a reputable brand, I think, right? I didn't know much about watches. But it's my personality in a watch. I love black, white, and red, my favorite colors, and so that was the inspiration for the colors on the dial, and I had them DLC the case for me. My name's on the back, which was really cool.
Oh, I love that.
And so Konstantin does it's a serious watch, but that doesn't take watchmaking too seriously.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit of my personality in a watch, right?
Yeah, he's definitely that type of maker. And when you see what he makes, you said it the best. Serious watchmaking with so much personality, and he can make some crazy things, but then he'll make the Minions watch.
Yeah,
he'll
exactly.
make the Joker.
I wanted one of those
the
Minion watches.
Look so
They're
cool.
really cool.
You get the Jacquet. So you said this is your third watch. Like, what gave you the courage to go from, if that makes sense, from something like a Rolex GMT, which I don't want to say a safe choice, but like, definitely a more safe choice versus a Chaykin, to go into a Piece Unique watch, right? Which is a Joker, which is like very, compared to a GMT, is like, on the other side of the world. What gave you the courage, or what even opened that up to even try to make a Piece Unique versus just trying to get a normal production Joker?
Yeah, at the time I had no idea what I was doing. I asked him, hey, can you make it with a white dial, and can you make it DLC, and can you do red? And he's like, yeah, I can do that.
Wow.
And at this time, no one was buying these watches.
Exactly.
And so I was like, oh, great, yeah, I'd love to do that. And so it was a cool process. I've always bought what I liked. There's no rhyme or reason for anything in my collection. I
love that.
It's just a little bit of what I like, and this for me was something serious, but also not taking it too seriously. And that's how my personality is, right?
Yeah.
Like I take my work seriously, I take my family seriously, but I don't take myself too seriously, right? I try to have fun, and that's what this is, right? And so I loved it. It spoke to me when I saw it. So.
I love that. So you did a little bit of research, and you're just like, why not? So you just send him an email, send him a message, and then went through the process, and then got a watch. I love that, because sometimes, as collectors, you see a piece like that, and you're just like, first you're like, oh, you wouldn't even think of getting a piece unique made, but especially at that time, which wasn't, how long ago did you
This
buy?
was 6 years ago,
Yes.
5 years ago.
So in the terms of watches, not even that long ago. And there's so many brands today where if you just reach out and just say, hey, I love what you do, I would like something from you, but I want something special to me, could you? Many of them will be like, sure.
Why not?
Right?
Yeah.
And if you're not, asking for, I don't know, a tourbillon or something that's super crazy, if you're just saying, hey, can you change the dial a little bit? Can you do some colors here or there? A lot of brands will do something super special for you. Maybe they'll charge you a premium here or there, but a lot of brands won't even charge you, double the watch or something like that. And here you have something super special with your name on the dial that will pass your kids.
I didn't know what a
like
tourbillon was at the time, or I would have had one of the eyes rotate
Yeah,
there.
oh
That would've been
man,
really
could you
cool.
imagine?
That
That'd be
would've been
sick.
awesome.
Oh man, call it the Dizzy Joker or something like that. Oh man, you got to cut that out. That might be our PC. Oh man.
That'd be awesome.
So speaking of something that you might pass down to your children, I want you to tell me the story about two very special pieces that you have here today.
Yeah. So I have, and everyone references these as hype watches, and I wanted something classical that was going to stand the test of time.
Yes.
So two watches for each one of my boys. My wife got these for me for my birthdays.
Yeah.
So this was for my 30th birthday, a Rolex Daytona, and this was for my 31st birthday. So another two watches that my wife got me. And then these were also birth year watches for our kids.
Yeah, love
and
that.
so I wore them every day until she delivered. And so when she went to delivery, I was wearing these watches. So they're birth year watches. We timed the time of their birth on them.
I love that.
They were for my birthday. They're very sentimental watches. I love these two watches, and they'll be watches that go down to my boys. I haven't decided what age yet.
Yeah, right. So that's always the thing, and I always help people, when they buy watches, like they're gonna keep for them, but then pass down, and that's always the question is like, at what age do you give them? Because at the end of the day, like these are like, one, they're valuable pieces, but also at what age did you like really like, decide you're gonna take care of things?
Exactly.
So I have certain collectors who like, at a certain age, you show them the watch and like, hey, we're gonna take care of this together.
Yeah.
And on the weekends, you kind of wear it, but then you put it in boxes. You don't want them flinging it around the Aquanaut, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So I haven't decided what age, but my firstborn will get this beautiful Panda Daytona, and then my secondborn will get this Travel Time GMT.
Oh, I love that. I'm going to show two clips of you wearing the watches when they were born. I think that's so beautiful. And yes, some people will say that these are hype watches, but at the end of the day, let's take away the hype. Let's take away the prices. These are two watches that your children, when they're of age, going to school, university, or whatever, just living life, two watches that they can wear and do anything they want with,
I'm
right?
thinking about after university.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, everybody has a different thing. You got to make them earn it, right?
Maybe, but
like,
you're right. They're rugged. They can be worn. You can go diving with them.
Exactly, and they can always have a piece of that along the way.
Yeah.
And I think that's super special. So that's lovely, and I love this on the red strap. A little bit of Mr. Wonderful going on, but I appreciate
This
it.
is actually the Patek Philippe strap from the Rainbow.
Oh, I was wondering. Yes.
So fits on the Travel Time. And it's a great fit.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah,
it gives you that the Singapore edition vibes, right?
exactly.
Yeah. So. I love that. Oh, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Let's go on to something else on the red shop that is super special, and I think we got to check this, Sean. This might be the world premiere of a Jacquet Droz on Collector Conversation, and I'll put a challenge out there. If you can find another Jacquet Droz in a Collector's Conversation, I'll give you a free book. Put in the comments. I think this might be the first. Maybe way back, but I think this might be the first.
I know a lot of collectors, I don't know anyone who owns a Jacquet Droz.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
It's weird.
We were
It's
there
really
before,
weird.
and we can't think. Such a great brand as well, and a great value as well. You know, if you're looking for something pre-owned, you could find such amazing pieces by Jacquet Droz. And for whatever reason, it's just one of those brands you could pick up at a great value. But tell them about this amazing watch.
Yeah, so this is a 2019 only watch, Jacquet Droz, which is really cool, really special, piece unique. I bought this, I was feeding my baby, at like, he's 3 months old, it's 3 a.m., and I'm holding the bottle and I'm searching Chrono 24.
Yeah.
And this pops up. And I was like, this is an only watch? Like, are you sure? You know, I go back, I look at the catalogs, like make sure this is an only watch, and I pulled the trigger at like 4 in the morning. So my wife woke up, I was like, yeah, I bought another watch, and it was awesome. So it's a great brand, great piece, and I love it.
Yeah, no, this is a worthy 4 a.m. purchase, I would say. You know, just time in seconds, but fully skeletonized movement here. Nice second, sub-seconds sapphire, and then you just have the hour and minute just kind of suspended there.
Yeah, crystal's a little domed, which gives it a nice touch, and the rotor on there is really cool because you can see the rotor through the skeleton.
It's amazing.
It's awesome.
And again, done for Only Watch, so it's one of a kind, and Only Watch is done every 2 years, and it's a charity auction that does some great things, and you get some really special watches. And it's so funny that I saw this watch in 2019 in Dubai, but when they were touring it out there, so it's so funny that it ended up in your collection. And I remember seeing it and thinking, like, this is such a cool Jacquet Droz, right? Because it's like very wearable, very funky, but from such a great house. So it's just not a watch that you think that they'd make, and the colors, your red and black, are just like your colors anyway.
Exactly,
so
yeah.
I could see you at 3 in the morning with the baby right there, just like, you know, let me just pull it.
Yeah, I had to. The red and black just made it for me as well.
Yeah, a worthy world premiere, I dare say, on the collector's conversation. This is awesome.
I appreciate that.
This is
Thank you,
awesome
thank you.
piece. All right, what else do we have here?
So I'll talk about this.
Let's go for the Daytona.
This Platona that I have. It's a really cool story, and it's a special Daytona as well. You know, being from the Middle East, I've always wanted a Rolex with Arabic numerals, or Eastern Arabic numerals, Hindi numerals, Arabic dials, whatever you want to call it. But I've always wanted one, and you know, they're only sold in the GCC.
Yep.
Very rare, very hard to get.
Very hard.
And so I was in Qatar visiting my brother who lives there. I have a partner also who's there, and I had gotten my partner a 5960p as a gift. Yeah, a great gift, but he's a great partner, right? So I hand him the box, he puts the watch on, and he takes off his watch, and he hands it to me. And he was wearing this version of the Daytona, not this one. Yeah. So he was wearing an Arabic dial Platona, and you know, I just looked at him and I was like, dude, these are awesome, they're really rare. You can't get these in the US. If you're ever able to get another one, please let me know. Yeah. Like I'd love to buy one. And he's like, really? They're that rare? I'm like, yeah, they're really rare, you know. So, and he goes, all right, cool. And you know, we finished dinner. I got a call 2 weeks later, and he's like, congrats, your watch is here. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he sends me a picture, and it was this this beautiful Platona with the Arabic dial, and I was blown away. One of the best gifts I've ever gotten.
Hey, it's a great gift. And you know, the thing about the Platinum Daytona by itself, it was so underrated when it was first released. A lot of people just didn't get the glacier blue with the chocolate brown. Even me at first, I didn't understand it until I saw a dealer wearing it at a wholesale show, and it just looked great on him. You know, because I only saw it in pictures, and then it just looked so great. And the more and more I saw it, I was like, wow. And then when you see it with Arabic numerals, because normally with the stick markers, it looks good, but with the Arabic numerals, it just gives it so much flavor, right? Absolutely. Because you just have character on it, right? You just don't have these stick markers, and Arabic numerals being that they themselves have that script, and there's just so much life and so much flavor in what would be normally such a more rigid dial. It just brings it alive, especially with the colors there. So to me, it is, you know, it's just a very, very special piece all around, and what a gift indeed. And this is awesome. It's hard to beat one of these.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I once I got that, I was like, man,
how do you go up, right?
It's it.
Oh man. So let's go to the Ming Worldtimer.
Yeah.
Which is another sweet.
So Ming Worldtimer, Ming does some amazing watches. micro brand now, can be independent. I guess you can call him independent. And Ming himself is an awesome guy.
Yes.
So I was looking at a bunch of his watches. I couldn't never get one of the draws.
Yeah, it's very tough.
Bought this one gray, and I thought, this is a special dial. I love the way it looks. So I messaged Ming and I said, hey, I'm buying this gray. He said, let me check it out for you. They did a background just to make sure it wasn't ever damaged or stolen or anything like that, which I really appreciated. They registered in my name, which was really cool. And then the next draw, which is cool because some brands won't put you in for those draws unless you buy from them directly.
Exactly.
Ming will put you in as a customer even if you buy gray, which was awesome. And so the next draw, when they had the Mosaic watch come out, the 20.11, he messaged me and he's like, hey, are you interested in one? I was like, yeah, absolutely. And so it was great. I got to buy a watch, but also build a relationship. And with a lot of these brands, you'd never be able to do that. So really, really cool.
Yeah, it's hard, and that's one of the great things I always tell people with independence. Reach out, because Ming is a great example. I've had the pleasure to meet him a few times as he traveled through Dubai, and great person. Because again, a collector at heart, right? Who just ended up making watches because he just kept doing it, right? But when you talk to him, loves to help people who own his watches, whether you buy it directly, gray, just from another collector, trades or whatever. If there's any kind of service issue, happy to help. If registering or whatever, happy to help, and happy to put people in draws and things as well. So happy to get people in the community and take care of people who enjoy his pieces, no matter how you get them. I think that's so important in the situation we are these days, where they're limited pieces and you can't make enough watches for everybody. But if somebody enjoys your piece, no matter how they get that piece on the wrist, it's nice to see these independent brands appreciating that person, loving your product, no matter how you get it, right? Yeah. It's like an artist who makes art, and like you see your art on somebody's wall. It doesn't matter how it got there. They love your art, right? Yeah. So you just kind of appreciate that person, and it's good to see people like Ming who really they do that. They really connect with the people, and they're not oh, how did you get it? Where did you? They exactly. kind of take that drama out of it and just like, man, thank you.
You own the watch.
Yeah, you appreciate my watch, like. What can I do better? How can what do you think? It's more. That's more of the conversation.
And I love that their movements aren't in house, and they own that. They proudly display them, they modify them, but they outsource a lot of their stuff, and it's really cool. It doesn't have to be in house to be beautiful and to be good.
I think personally, a lot of brands going in house ruined a lot of brands, right? And it took a lot of. It raised a lot of price points of brands that didn't need their price points raised. So it put a bad taste in a lot of collectors' mouths. It priced out a lot of collectors who love certain brands, who all of a sudden woke up and they couldn't afford certain pieces for certain brands because those brands decided to go in-house movements. And a lot of different things that led to certain brands going in-house, right? But for a brand, like a new brand, why do you need to go in-house? Look at this watch.
I mean, look at that micro rotor and
hand-finished movement. Like hand-finished movement, true Worldtimer as well, not just a GMT, beautiful dial, looks good, rose gold plated as well, beautiful, well-done case. Why do I need that to be in-house?
Exactly.
The price point isn't crazy as well. I believe these were 10-ish. And then they were raised to like 11.9 or something after the final raise. So you're talking under $13,000. Why do I need this to be in-house?
Exactly.
If you already give me, hand finished movement, rose gold plated, the case is a unique case, the dial's a unique dial.
Beautiful.
The funk, for me to say, okay, well, it should have been in-house, like then I'm just asking for too much. Yeah. And that's when you get brands kind of spreading themselves too thin, or then they make something in-house and then it becomes like extraordinarily expensive, and then we're like, oh wow, that's too expensive.
Yeah.
So you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Exactly.
And to me, this is a great cake. You know what I mean? So I'm happy with the cake. You know what I mean? I'm good. I'm happy.
Agreed. I love it. So.
And this is great. I like. This is only my second time really handling one of these in person, and just well done from the case to the dial to the movement. Like you really couldn't ask for more in a watch like this. I agree. It's perfection to me. All right, well, no 9-course meal is complete without dessert. And today we have, I think, the best dessert you could ever have when you're talking about fine watches. And that is the most current edition of the FP Journe Chronometre Resonance. And I'll just let you talk a little bit about this beauty. I think you just received it very recently, correct?
So I just got this a couple months ago. I've been wearing it every day since.
Yeah.
I promised William and Pierre that I would not take this off my wrist once I bought
Hard to take it off.
I couldn't, so I've been wearing it for almost every day now.
Yeah.
This has been a grail watch of mine. Been waiting for a few years for this one, and I think I bothered Pierre and William and everyone at Journe a lot until they were like, "Just get him out of here.
It's worth it. It's worth
Take
it.
the watch.
Sometimes you
Just
gotta
leave us
do it."
alone." But FP Journe is my favorite brand. They do incredible watches. I got to meet Francois Paul recently at the New York boutique opening.
Yes.
And he's an icon. He's a legend in the watchmaking world, and I'm just super proud to own this piece.
Yeah, no, it's and to me, this version of it with the salmon rose salmon dial is perfect. I love the resonance, but this version just have the little bit of open and into the movement there. The bigger case as well, you know, repertoire, everything about it is just perfection. I mean, just even to make a resonance watch in itself is crazy, but that's kind of FP Journe, right?
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, like you said, he's a legend, and you know, to be able to collect watches from somebody who's still living, still creating crazy things. Look at the Francis Ford Coppola watch, which is like,
which they had at the boutique opening. It was incredible.
yeah,
to see
you know,
it was
and
amazing.
you know, so to be able to collect watches, you know, from somebody who's still making crazy things like that is amazing, and to get special pieces like that.
And when I got to meet him, you know, I asked him if we could do a wrist shot, which was really cool. He took a wrist shot. It was the coolest wrist shot I've ever taken. And you know, he was wearing the new Elegante in black. So I asked him if I could see it, and I gave him my piece, and I have this great picture of him holding the watch and just like admiring it.
Yeah.
And it made it more special, you know, having the watchmaker himself holding the watch. It's just incredible.
Yeah.
And my fun Journe fact is me and FP have the same birthday.
Oh, no way.
We're both born on March 22.
Oh.
And when I got this watch, it was like March 25th. They called me or something. So I asked William, my the boutique manager in New York, and my sales advisor. I'm like, can you please date the papers March 22? And he's like, you'll lose a few days. And I'm like, it's okay.
So what?
It's okay. It's okay.
I love that.
And it makes it that much more special. So it was awesome.
Any particular reason you went for the resonance versus any other models, or?
So I have a few Journes in my collection. This was just the grail, right? So this is the Journe that got me into Journe. I saw this the first time, and I was like, I want that piece. And they said, sorry, you can't have it, you know. And I started collecting, you know, collecting other pieces, and you fall in love with the brand, and you have an appreciation for older pieces. But I have, having gotten this one, it's perfection. This is my favorite watch of all time.
You know, I have a category of perfect watches, you know, and there's not one perfect watch in my opinion. There's a few watches where everything about that watch, where it's the aesthetics, with the complication, with the movement design, with the movement finishing, with the case, everything combines to make a perfect watch. And I have a list of those, and this watch is on that list because everything about this watch is perfect. And you put it on that beautiful green strap as well. You can put this on any strap, right?
Works,
it looks great, but on that green strap in, like, you know, the springtime right now, it's perfect.
And I'm waiting on a few other strap options too, so I'll get to play around with it.
Oh yeah, you got some fun. Making some blue, some salmon, some sandy, some camel.
Exactly.
You could really do whatever you want on that, because that dial
And
really
Journe
pops.
does some really cool straps. They'll customize any strap for you with any material.
Oh yeah, you could go. I've seen some funky stuff done. And you go with the stitching and
Toad straps.
I always tell people, like, have fun with your straps, man. Look, you know, look at have the watches here. Like, a little bit of color goes a long way. Look at the red strap on the Aquanaut. Of course, you know, getting that Patek strap is a little bit harder, but even you want like aftermarket and stuff like that, have some fun with your straps. So now that you've attained the grail, right? What's next? What's next for you? Has another grail risen out of the clouds as yet, or
no new grail has been identified yet? But you know, the collecting never ends, right?
Never.
And you're always looking at that.
Blame your wife, by the way.
I know. And every time she gets upset at me buying another watch, I'm like,
Your fault.
It's your fault. But so no new grail has arisen, but there are a few pieces that I'm looking at. I really want to do a Cartier NSO program.
Oh, yes.
So if Cartier, if you're listening, I would love a crash.
Like, I put it out in the universe.
Yeah,
right?
like, please.
They're around the corner somewhere.
Someone's listening to this, but I would love a Cartier crash. And so I have a thing for Arabic numerals, Arabic dials. You know, in my collection, there's a bunch of Arabic dial watches, and having an Arabic dial Cartier would be really cool.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
So I'm really hoping that happens, and yeah, so that's hopefully the next one.
Yeah. All right, so before we get out, I always like to ask collectors like yourself who have like a very well, diverse collection. This is everything you have, but you collect quite a good variety, and you started maybe almost 10 years ago, let's call it. So for a new collector or somebody who's just been in the game for a little bit, are there any tips, strategies, tools that you give to somebody who's in the collecting game or just thinking about getting into watch collecting right now? Because, in the past 2 years, things have changed, right? Yeah. Since you've even jumped in and you're able to get a one-of-one Chaykin made just by sending an email.
Yeah.
So what would you tell somebody who just sent you a DM or Instagram, you just met them at an event saying, hey man, I want to get into this hobby. Where do I start? How do I do it? What do you suggest?
So honestly, it's the first thing I would say is the cliche thing, right? Buy what you like. Yeah. I mean, that's the best advice you can give, because everyone asks me this guy has the best collection. I tell them, you have the best collection because it's yours, right?
10,000%.
So buying what you like is the most important, and then secondly, I mean, I know everyone wants some pieces that are hard to get, but just being kind.
Yes.
Right? It's not about who has the most money or has the best purchasing history, or I mean, you treat people kindly, and you show your passion, right? You tell them I'm passionate. You treat people with respect and kindness, and things happen. So it's really cool. That would be my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, no, I think that's perfect. Buy what you like, treat people kindly. It's so wild that the things that your mom and dad were teaching you in primary school or kindergarten. Those are the things that go on, right?
Yeah.
Where you treat people kindly, buy what you love, don't get stuck in a silo, don't buy what other people. And I like that. Like, your collection is the best collection, and that's really that's a very good thing, because we do get caught up. And somebody may even watching this video and say, "Wow, Jab's collection is one of the best collections." You have a great collection, but your collection isn't the best collection.
Exactly.
Their collection, your collection is the best collection. I think that's a great thing. Is like, don't. This isn't a race. This is a community, and everybody, is here to help everybody, and it's all about enjoying this thing, and we're enjoying, the works of great craftsmen like Mr. Journe and what people like Mr. Chaykin and doing, or Ming, and the work that team can do, and the people with Raketa and all these guys can do, and it's all about that community, right? Yeah. It's not really about the race and who can do this and who can do that, because then that kind of takes the fun out of it. Right?
Exactly. I mean, there's watches for everyone. You just ask for what you like, and you go after those pieces, and don't be afraid to also message people and ask your dealer for whatever watch you want. Some people are just too afraid to even go in and ask.
This is true.
So just sending a message, you can pretty much get in touch with anyone these days.
Yeah,
cool.
The world is huge, but right now it's the smallest it's ever been. And you're one message away from a one-of-one Chaykin.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Jabs, thank you so much for coming all the way down here.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored and humbled to be here. It was awesome.
Humble to have you. And thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you soon.